Hi guys, this week I'm talking about Shuang Yang, Tai Chi, and then doing a demonstration for you. So if you're interested, keep watching and then hit subscribe. So anyway, Shuang Yang, what is it? It's a southern style of Chinese martial arts from Fujian province. So Fujian province is the one next to Taiwan. It's very similar, as many people say, to Tai Chi or taijiquan, or we'll talk about that a bit in a minute, I think. But first of all, let's talk about Shuang Yang itself. So it's a soft style, some people say an internal style, of southern Chinese martial arts. It's based on the movements of the crane, the bird. The style itself doesn't fit necessarily into the 5 branches of crane. So again, I'll talk about that as well. The 5 branches of crane are something different. Shuang Yang is a routine of 66 postures that have, of course, martial applications, and it's important for someone to reach a higher level. They need to know the martial application, because if you only know the movements, how different is it from dancing? So it's quite important, in my view, that you're aware of the applications of those moves. It's a single person routine where you start on one posture, you go through a series of movements, each with their own applications or even multiple applications. It's tied in with the breath. A lot of people, I appreciate this, a lot of people just practice it for health, which is totally fine. I get that side of it as well. Pardon. I've got this one bit of light here, if I do that. Let me shift over a bit. Right, okay, we're in. Right, I can just about see myself as well. Right. Back to the matter at hand. Let's talk about Shuang Yang. Now, in Chinese, the full name is Shuang Yang Bai He Rou Ren Quan. So, to translate that one, because it's quite long. There's lots of Chinese styles have a couple of names, maybe a couple of characters or a few characters for their name, but Shuang Yang is probably the longest that I've heard of. So Shuang is frost, Yang is the sun. So you've got this Shuang Yang is this frost and sun kind of element to it, like the balance that you'd get if you're thinking about Tai Chi. Bai He, Bai is white and He is crane. So Shuang Yang Bai He, so frost and sun, white crane. And then we've got Rou Ren. So Rou Ren is like softness, gentleness. You could say soft and gentle art. And then Quan is so it's spelled Quan. Is how you spell it in the Chinese pinyin, and that just means fist, or it can mean style. So lots of Chinese styles, particularly in the south of China, have this Yongchun Bai He Quan. You've got that Quan at the end, so the Yongchun town white crane fist, Wuzu Quan, the 5 ancestor fist, Ming He Quan, the calling crane fist. They've all got the Quan at the end. It's quite standard for the area, to be honest. So in full, Shuang Yang Bai He Rou Ren Quan. You can translate it as frost and sun, white crane, soft and gentle art. So there we go. Let's go for a bit more of a walk, and I'll talk more about the rest of Shuang Yang. Okay, so zoom out of my face. Don't want to see me too close to you. Ooh, right. Let's talk a bit more about Shuang Yang and the history. So as I say, it's from Fujian province in China, and I'm told it's from the Quanzhou Shaolin temple. So there are 3 southern Shaolin temples. When I've been to them, you speak to the monks, they always say theirs is the most authentic or the original or something like that. But as I'm told, it's from Quanzhou. So Quanzhou is probably the most famous Shaolin temple, I would say, but I'm not saying it's more authentic than the others. But every time I go to China and I speak to people there, no one's heard of it, seen it. As far as we know, it's no longer in mainland China. Performed Shuang Yang in China, and no one's going, oh yeah, I know teacher so-and-so teaches that. So as far as we're aware, it's no longer in mainland China. Okay, right, so next on the agenda, the 5 branches of crane. He says, trying not to trip over all the stuff on the wizard. So the 5 branches of crane. Now, let's go through them first of all, before we talk about Shuang Yang. So the 5 branches of crane are sleeping, flying, eating, shaking, and calling. Those, if you go to Fuzhou, those are the 5 main branches. However, you've also got Yongchun white crane, which is the original white crane. There's also a Tibetan style, which that's a completely different family of art, so you can disregard that from your studies. But the story goes that crane originated in the village Yongchun, which is now quite a sizable town if you go there. Nice coffee shops. And then from there it spread. The Yongchun white crane is added into things like the tiger crane combination or the 5 ancestors, the Wuzu Chuan. But also you've got the 5 branches of crane, which then the supposedly later versions of crane. So crane then went to the city of Fuzhou, which is famed for its crane boxing, and that's where you've got the Crane's Nest Temple, which supposedly influenced karate and everything else there. So the 5 branches of crane supposedly came from the same thing, and then they've all branched out from there. So whereas the Yongchun white crane is more in line with the southern styles in terms of having a sanzan. Lots of the the Fuzhou cranes have got babulian, which is the 8 link steps. But anyway, and then some of those cranes have influenced, say, karate. I've once saw someone perform the 28 steps of cooling crane next to whatever the karate equivalent was, and it's basically the same pattern. Anyway, I digress. Shuang Yang. Okay, so those are the 5 branches of crane. Now let's continue my walk this morning, and I'll talk a bit about how Shuang Yang links to Tai Chi and talk about taijiquan. So hang around. Okay guys, so we're now at my little Tai Chi spot in the woods where I often practice. So a bit behind me is, you can see there's ferns everywhere else apart from where I practice, and that's because just lots of turning on the feet tend to not so good on it. You know, if you have a practice Shuang Yang and you've got a garden, you know what happens to the grass. So let's cover some of the other things then. So as I say, Shuang Yang is based on the movements of the crane, but it doesn't fit into the 5 branches of crane. So then it's the question of where does it fit in? Now lots of people talk about Tai Chi. So generally when we say Tai Chi, people tend to think of the family of styles that come, you know, like the Chen family, Yang family, Sun, Wu. There's Jiao Bao as well. I don't know all the other ones, but there's quite a few these days. And that's all taijiquan. I think those are the right tones. Taijiquan. Those family of martial arts all have the origin, I believe, from Yang style. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this because I don't study those styles, but I understand they come from the Yang family. And they are also often tied to Wudang, the Wudang tradition of Taoism and following the Wei. And so Tai Chi is just the name of the yin and yang sign. But you can see how the Shuang Yang, the frost and sun, has a similar imagery, but the Shuang Yang form is supposedly from the Shaolin tradition. So because of that, it's different from saying that taijiquan styles. So then myself and lots of people I know who teach Shuang Yang often advertise it as Tai Chi, because Tai Chi, to my mind, and it's the way that I look at it, is how Westerners think of soft styles of Chinese martial arts. So certainly I don't say I teach taijiquan because that would be incorrect. But when people think of soft Chinese martial arts, they go, oh, Tai Chi. So they have an idea of what Shuang Yang could be. And in fact, that's how I started as well, by saying, oh yeah, I was interested in meditation and stuff like that before I started. And I saw Tai Chi and I went, oh yeah, I like Tai Chi. Or well, I'm interested in Tai Chi. I'll go and give it a go. And here I am all these years later, and oh, Shuang Yang. So, but I think obviously it would be false advertising for someone to say that they do taijiquan, because that's not what Shuang Yang is by any stretch. But I feel that for a Western audience, they understand what Tai Chi is, something to do with soft movements and breathing, martial arts, Chinese, and so I think Shuang Yang fits into that. So that's my 2 cents on the issue, but you might have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments below. You probably want to see some as well. Let me do a little bit so you, if you've not seen it before, you've seen some of the movements. You'll see it's very different from the other taijiquan styles. I've got a few students who have previously done various taijiquan styles, and they all enjoy the Shuang Yang, saying they like the fact that it stretches you out, and that, as I say, it's linked to the Buddhist tradition. So those hours of seated meditation, you want to have a body that's healthy and has been stretched out, as it were, and you've got good posture. And so I think that's a great aspect of the Shuang Yang. It really opens the body out as well. So let's do some and wrap up. And there we go, guys. So there's a bit of the form. Either you do Shuang Yang, you're interested in what other people are doing and how they're doing it, or you've never seen it before and you're just interested in what it is. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. That would help me out. Comment below if you've got any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.